What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to Stoic Context. Today we are going to react to another Kevin Samuels video. Before we get into the video, make sure you guys like and subscribe. I'm going to be saving my commentary for the end of the video, so stay tuned for that.
Tiffany, what's up?
Kevin,
Hey.
Mr. Samuel, sorry, can you hear me?
I can now. What you got for me, sis? When I get it wrong?
Sorry
No
about
problem.
that. So, I feel like you're spot on from what you told the young lady earlier, and that's what I was trying to explain to Sarah. I'm pretty new. Y'all asked me to come up on the panel the other day,
Okay.
but I decided to go ahead and come up today. And I was trying to explain to Sarah that sometimes people just need someone to be a straight shooter, and hopefully that lady was young enough to where she can go ahead and make a change.
Right. Well, I mean, I agree. I don't have any malicious intent.
Right.
And you know, I'll put it this way: I'm a cancer survivor. And when I got my diagnosis back, one of the first questions I asked him was the remission rates and the prognosis. And I respect them that they didn't lie to me, because you got to make real choices. And the situation that she was in, well, we're all in, is that if we have our information, the truth, then we can make choices. So that's what it is. So
well, congratulations to you. God bless you for going through that.
So what's your name in the chat room was what? Is it Tiffany?
Tiffany Chanel.
Tiffany Chanel. Okay. I saw people talking to you.
I'm the one that came in the chat, and I was so excited about the topic of being over 30 and and single, and yeah, that was me.
So are you over 30?
I am.
Are you looking to get married yourself?
I've been married. Currently, I'm not looking to get married.
Are you looking for an LTR? Long-term relationship? Long-term relationship?
Oh, not currently. I'm currently not looking for a long-term relationship, but I'm open to friendship, and if that leads to a long-term friendship, that would be great.
Now that is curious to me. I'm gonna tell you why I'm curious.
Okay.
As a divorcee myself, there was a cooling off period. But most women I know don't want to die alone.
Yeah.
Are we saying that you just want to go through the rest of life unattached?
That's a good question. I don't think I'm saying the rest of life unattached. I just think I'm finally able to focus on other things outside of relationship.
Okay.
You know, things that are important to me: my career, my household, my daughter. And so, yeah.
How old is your daughter?
My daughter will be 4 in a couple of weeks.
Okay. Well, everybody comes to it at a different point, but one thing I would love to hear more Black women be able to do is to be able to have healthy relationships. Because here's what I hear more often when I hear from Black women, or women in general, Black women in particular. When I ask you if you want to be in a relationship, it's still comparing it against the negative versus the positive, what it can be. I mean, you got a 4-year-old, and you may have a great career, but it's always easier in life to go through it with support, help. So why not have support, help, healthy, happy relationships versus nothing?
That's actually a beautiful point. My parents have been married for 48 years. My grandparents were married for over 65 years.
Do you want that?
Before they transitioned, and they're happy, and it's beautiful.
Do you want that?
I think. Oh, so if that exists for me, yes. But if it does not,
there it goes.
That's okay.
Okay. There it goes. You came from 65 years and 48 years. If it exists for you, Why if you come from 65 and 48, why would it not exist for you?
No, meaning if it exists for me,
I know.
it
Why would
exists
it
for
not
them.
exist? I know. That's why I said, why could it not exist for you?
I think, whatever God's plan is, I- I'm I want to be that person that's open to what God has for me and not try to chase after something.
Okay, so are you a Christian?
I am.
Are you a practicing Christian?
When you say practicing, what do you mean?
Are
Like,
you living? Are you living in accordance to the Christian? Are you living by the Bible?
yes, sir. Absolutely.
All right.
Now,
So
am I perfect?
no,
No,
none
only
of us are
Christ is.
perfect. None of us are
Yeah.
perfect. But I ran the singles ministry in 3 churches I was in,
That's
and
awesome.
yeah, and there's nothing in the Bible where God has anything about a spouse. This is a natural choice.
Okay.
In the black community, we put this off as a spiritual matter. Like I have a show about 3 weeks ago where I had a woman. I actually know her pastor,
Hmm.
and she kept on talking about how she's a good Christian woman. And I asked her, and at the end of the day, go back and watch the show. It's actually highlighted.
Okay.
Oftentimes, black women get to a point to where I'm just being honest. You don't believe it's possible. I don't believe it's possible. It was what your grandparents and your parents had. That time is over. The world is different. So now God is my husband.
Oh no, that's not if
I say,
nah.
I'm not saying you.
It,
I'm saying oftentimes that becomes black women because,
oh no. Yeah, that's not good.
well, no, that's why I said if 65 years and 48 years, you have good role models. The
Hmm.
world has not changed. Human beings are still the same.
Yep.
And I hate this. I hate to hear when people have had bad experiences and to think, well, I'm just going to leave it in God's hands. God don't work that way, sis. That has never been God's way. Marriage is a natural choice because if it worked that way, then God will be responsible for your. Were you married? Were you married to your daughter's father? Her daughter's father? Hello.
Okay, I can hear you now. So
I said, were you
yes,
married to your daughter's
we
father?
were married.
Okay,
Yes.
so if it worked the way you're talking, God would be responsible for your divorce.
I think man has their own will, man and woman,
Right.
mankind.
So great. So saying work. So what you're saying is not. Then that contradicts it. You're waiting for what God has for you, but then you say man and woman have their own will. That
Hmm.
means
God has his God has his perfect will for your life.
right, but
And
none of that has to do with picking a spouse.
I think that has to do with everything.
No, you can think that, but there's nothing in the tenets of Christianity. You sit down with your pastor, and if he's actually went to seminary, he'll tell you you have an incorrect interpretation of the gospel. Man, I taught for many years in singles ministry, and I was been married. That's an incorrect interpretation that oftentimes black women have. Marriage is a natural choice, not a spiritual
Marriage is a choice. I do
choice.
believe that in
Yes.
every aspect of your life, God has his perfect will for you. That's in your
Mhm.
career.
Does he have his perfect will for Adam and Eve?
He did. And then they
Did
made a
Adam and
choice.
did they have their own? Did they have their own will?
Absolutely. And
Did they
he's
act in
not going to
accordance with it?
override your will.
Exactly.
Hmm.
So
I
when we
think
put
we agree, Kevin. We
well,
agree.
we agree up to the point to where
Or
we
Mr.
put
Samuel. Sorry, I don't know
no
what
no
you want
no
me to
Kevin is
call you.
cool. We agree to the point to where we push this off onto God's perfect will for us. That is where I wholeheartedly disagree, and that is where you first came. I said, "What about this?" And you said, "I'm going to let God have it in His time." No, man, that's not how it works.
I guess my goal is I don't want women to think that if they're not getting a man, it's something always wrong with them. Sometimes it's just their choice. and that's okay.
Okay. Well, if you're a Christian, what is a woman's purpose?
I believe a woman and a man's purpose is to serve and honor the Lord with their lives.
Okay, I asked a very specific question.
Mm-hmm.
You're a Christian. What is a woman's purpose?
A woman's purpose is to serve the Lord with her life.
That is not
How
a
she
woman.
lives her
That
life,
is not a woman's.
honoring God.
That is not a woman's purpose, according to
Okay.
Christianity or the Bible. It's very clear. A woman's
Are you
purpose is to.
talking about submitting to husband and
No, a
husband
woman's
submit
purpose is
to?
to be helpmeet to man. Your
Oh, be
purpose
the
is
helpmate.
your
Okay,
purpose. A
I
woman's
understand that.
okay. So in the simple terms, a woman's purpose is man in Christianity. You have no purpose without a man here. If you did, God could have easily created Eve before Adam. God gave Adam the commandments and he put him in charge of the garden. He spoke to Adam. Did God ever speak to Eve?
Adam was in authority, so he spoke to Adam.
Right.
Correct. Eve
So,
was the helpmate. He pulled her from his
exactly.
rib so that
So
she could
you
walk
said you
side
don't
by
want
side
women
with
to
him.
think you don't want women to think that you don't want women to think opposite of what it is you say you believe.
No, I don't want women to think that there's something wrong with them always. There can be things that are wrong, but it's not always that it's something wrong with a woman, and it's not always that there's something wrong
Well,
with a
ma'am,
man.
but the thing is, hold on, but this whole wrong, what is a woman's purpose on the planet? Okay, how about this? How about this, Nicole? Tiffany, can a woman
Yeah.
survive on the planet by herself?
Well, I've seen it happen.
Where?
So
Where?
if you
Where?
asking for,
Where? 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 Where?
I've seen single women live and be single until they're older and
Hold
they
on. So let's
transition.
stop. You've seen a woman take care of and provide for herself.
Yes,
Did she build her own shelter?
yes, built her house.
She built her own home.
Hmm.
Did she actually run the plumbing to that home?
Oh, I see. Like hiring people, or did she run the plumbing?
Come on,
I don't
Tiffany.
know.
What I'm
She may
saying,
have hired a
what I'm
plumber.
saying. That's why I asked you very definitely. See, oftentimes women use Christianity as convenient Christians. A woman's purpose is a man. No two ways about it. Women cannot survive without men. You're not physically capable. You don't have the strength. Your body's not built for it. You cannot do it. So to say women can survive without men is telling women the wrong thing. And as a Christian, that's why I asked if you're a Christian, you're actually telling women something that goes opposite to what you say you believe.
Do you think a woman should enter in a relationship and stay if a man is abusive?
What does that have to do with Christianity?
My point is that some women have had this
Well,
happen.
okay, but
Do we
Tiffany,
tell her to stay with a man
But
because that's
Tiffany,
her
due
purpose?
respect, Tiffany, I could pull out. We could go that tit for tat all night. We really could.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be. I
What
just
I'm
don't
not
want
okay
women to think something's
what
wrong.
I'm not okay with is Christian women telling women that they don't need a man. I'm not okay with that. If you're a Christian woman and you say you're living according to the Bible, then there's no way you can say that.
Yeah, I'm not trying to say, oh, you don't need a man, do everything by yourself. What I'm saying is, don't feel bad and feel like you're doing something wrong if you're currently not with a man. It's okay. Maybe one day, but maybe not today. And it's
Maybe
okay.
one, but okay, but hold up. Okay, maybe one day, but maybe not today. But who is that woman under? Who is she submitting to?
Well, she needs to be submitting to the Lord.
Right. But if who's covering that woman when she's by herself? Because a father is because here's how
The angels.
and you know what? And the extension of God is my husband. See, no matter how you slice it, that's still your position.
Well, I
And
think God is my everything.
well,
God is
that's
my
fine, but he is,
everything.
but see, this is not. But even T.D. Jakes, he used to get angry with with the members of his church because too often women were taking this bastardization of Christianity and actually making this a problem. Often T.D. Jakes actually said in the church, "Do not go quote me in your house to your husband." And how
Yeah, I
often
love Bishop Jakes.
well, exactly. And
He's
how
awesome.
often women misinterpret the scripture because it's not your place. See, if you're a Christian woman, you know your purpose is a man. Everything God has told you is in conjunction with a man. So what you're saying is opposite to Christianity. That is worldly. That's why I asked you initially, are you a Christian living according to the tenets? And you're
I
not.
am.
But you can't be and hold these positions. You're living you're living in opposition to God's will for man and woman. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Go ask your pastor. Go ask
My
anybody.
dad is my pastor.
Okay. And what does he tell you?
So we're raised in a house where it's husband and wife,
Exactly.
and my mom is his helpmate.
Okay.
So
But what
yeah,
is your
my dad.
what does he tell you a woman's purpose is?
Yeah. So I see people saying that I'm using God as an excuse, and
I don't care about the
that's
chat
not
room.
my
Tiffany,
heart's
look at
desire, and I didn't come on here for that.
Tiffany. Don't look at the chat room. You and I are
Yeah, I
having a
didn't come
conversation.
on here to be
Well,
bashed. I
but
came on
who are
here
you? Hold
because
on,
I
Tiffany.
appreciate your
Who is
platform.
bashing Tiffany? Listen, you've not been bashed by me. Don't look at the chat room. You and I are having a conversation that can benefit women. Have I been disrespectful to you?
No, not at all.
Have I been rude to you?
No.
So what do
No,
you?
I don't
There's
I don't
nothing to.
think you're a rude person. I listen to
So
what you say to the ladies, and I believe you're trying to help them.
what I'm saying is you focus here. And all I'm doing is questioning what it is you say because let me tell you the problem I have with some of the things you said. Far too often, Black women are uncoupled because of a misunderstanding of Christian doctrine. And that's why I asked, what does your pastor say? Because if you're a Christian, you're supposed to be in submission to someone, a
Yeah.
father, a husband, even in a holding, men of the church somewhere. Women are not.
My pastor says that a man should not be without a wife, and that the
And,
wife is to be the helpmate, and that the wife is to submit to the husband, and the husband also submit to the
but you
wife, because the
said you
Bible
don't want
says
women to
submit to
think
one
that there's
another.
something wrong with her if she's not with the man, and that's just
Because I think there's a lot of pressure on
as it
individuals, women
should
and
be,
men.
as it should be. As it, if you're a
And I
Christian,
think sometimes, Mr. Samuels,
hold on, ma'am.
okay,
As it should be, if you're a Christian, you don't have to be a Christian. We chose to be Christians, and we don't get to select the parts of the doctrine in the Bible we choose to follow. That is a new thing with all this prosperity preaching. Everything I've asked you, ma'am, 65 years with your grandparents, 48 years with your parents, your father is your pastor. And every question I've asked you to actually get you to define something, you've slid away because you didn't want to answer specifically what you and I both know to be the truth that you say you
well,
believe.
no, I answered to you what my dad has said as my pastor. And he did say that man should not live without a wife, and the wife should submit to the husband should submit.
I'm sure when you and your ex chose to divorce, he probably also counseled you both.
Hmm.
And he counseled you on divorce.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
But we
But
also had other Christian counselors outside the church too.
ultimately, I asked you earlier, do you want to marry a long-term relationship? And at the end of the day, man, what it really comes down to, it is a dangerous thing to tell women that you don't need men, because what it is what you're saying. You do need us. You
I
need
don't
us.
think I would tell a woman that she doesn't need a man. What I would
Well,
tell a woman is not to feel, don't come down on yourself if you're not yet married. I'd say the same thing to a man. Don't come down on yourself if you're not yet married.
okay, but who? Okay, if you're not yet married,
Hmm.
but is there a clock on that?
So I think with a biological clock for men and women, it could be because if a woman doesn't have her baby by the age of 35, 36, she's considered high risk. If a man doesn't have his child by his mid 40s, he's considered high risk.
Okay,
He can
let me
actually
ask you a
produce a
very
child
defining
with.
question about marriage. Why?
Sure.
What is the purpose? Why do we marry?
Well, you marry to reproduce, to bring children into the world, to raise them in the admonition of the Lord.
That's one reason. But what else?
I would think to raise productive citizens in society,
Okay.
to keep your seed, to keep your legacy going.
Right. So you can do none of that as an individual. Certainly can't do anything as an individual Christian.
Oh, it looks like people are saying, why am I up here if I'm talking about other people?
I don't
Because
care
that's
about
all I.
could you please stop looking and see, I don't
Okay,
understand
sorry.
why you are doing that. I mean, I'm trying to have a conversation with you and I'm not looking there and it's my show. Well, it
Okay,
sounds as though you're more
I'll respect
concerned.
that. Let me hide the chat.
How about
Let me just
that?
hide them.
How
Okay.
about you just because what you see, we're Christians. We chose to be that. So I cannot sit there and say I agree that you're saying that a woman should not feel bad that she's not married or whatever. At some point, you
Hmm.
need to have a husband if you're a Christian.
Yeah, I mean, the Bible says that,
Your
right? The
purpose,
Bible
yes,
says a man
because
should not live without a wife. A woman
exactly.
should not live without a
So
man.
what
That's
we
in the
say
Bible.
what we're saying what you ultimately said is you didn't want women to feel something wrong. There is something wrong if you're a Christian and don't have a husband. At some point, you don't you a
I
woman.
just don't want people
It
to
doesn't
come
matter,
down on
ma'am. You're a
themselves if it
Christian,
hasn't happened.
ma'am. I'll just say this. Now move on to the next call. Tiffany, your father's a pastor. You,
Yes.
what you want is in direct conflict with your belief system. That's for you to sort out. But I'm just knowing, just understanding. According to Christianity, you're 100% incorrect. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong to have it, but you're wrong as a Christian, and you know it.
Yeah, I think maybe I'm being misunderstood because I'm
No, I
not saying that
understand.
a man and a wife shouldn't be together. I'm
I
just
understand.
saying that give yourself
I
time to get to know people. Don't rush it.
I understand that
You rush
Christian.
it, you might end up divorced like
Well,
me.
no. Well, but okay. No, you rush, you might end up divorce. No, I don't give you that because if you get married for not love, you get married for very practical reasons, spiritual reasons, Christian reasons. See, back in the day, we used to do this. A lot of this Hallmark love stuff, your feelings and all this other stuff did not matter. You got married because of children, legacy, things, and you fell in love with your spouse. And the
You want to
church,
build something.
hold on. And the church did not move the way the world did. Today, the church has become far too worldly, and this is what's in the church. This is why so many you're a church going woman. You see how many men are no longer in church? Why do you think so many men are not in church? Because they're tired of hearing Christian women talk like this. You have Christian women speaking in contravenence to Christianity. That is why men are leaving the church. That is why pastors are actually telling their female flock, do not speak this way, do not say these things. But yet, black women, black Christian women are some of the most stubborn, hard-headed people on the planet because at the end of the day, it's your faith and it's God is the person you're going up to. But at the end of the day, nothing in God's word, nothing in God's appointed men on earth, nothing God has said is what you women are talking about.
Yeah,
That's why
so
people in the chat room will talk. That's why people
I
in the
think
chat room.
Kevin, I think you and I actually agree. I think we're agreeing, to be honest with you. A man should not be alone, right? That's in God's word. A woman should be the helpmate to the man, submit to the man. The man should honor and love the wife just as Christ loved the church. We agree on that. All I'm saying is don't come down on yourself if it hasn't happened for you yet. If you want to find love, you can and will find love.
Okay,
But
first
don't
off, ma'am,
beat yourself
let
up
me
if
stop you.
you
Let me stop you
haven't.
right there. Let me stop you right there.
Mm-hmm.
The last thing you just said had nothing to do with Christianity. And I repeat, don't come down on yourself if you haven't found love. You
Or should I
will
say,
find.
if you haven't found your spouse?
But
Let me
you
change
no
that.
no but you well no ma'am, you've said it 3 times, and that's the point. You still are conflating love and marriage. That's why I've
Well,
asked
the
you what.
Bible says that. The Bible
No, it
says the
is does
husband should
not.
love the wife as Christ loved the
But that
church.
is
That's
not the
love.
purpose of marriage. It is not romantic love.
I'm not
Hold
talking
on,
about
hold on, Tiffany.
romantic love. I'm talking about the
Tiffany. No, no,
God
no, no, no,
kind
no.
of love,
Tiffany.
the
The man should
agape
love.
love.
The man should love his wife like God, like Jesus loved the church. That's agape,
Agape love. I
which
keep
is
saying
not
that.
romantic love. You're talking about eros.
I didn't say anything about romance. I
Well,
never said the word
but
romance.
the love you're talking about is romantic love. Don't come down on yourself. You have not found love. Selfless love, agape, has nothing to
No,
do with.
that
Okay,
the
I
Christ-like
am not
love.
new, Tiffany. I'm not new to
I think
this.
we agree, Kevin. We agree.
We do agree, except for one thing. A woman's purpose on the planet is a man. That is your sole
Is a
purpose.
man's purpose a woman? Like,
That
what
is
would be a man's purpose?
a man. That is your purpose. Worry about your purpose. See, you want to win an intellectual battle. Your purpose is a man. That's it. And then this is that
And the
Western.
man's purpose is to honor God.
Hold on. I deal with your purpose. See, what you're doing right now has nothing to do with Christianity or anything else. It is an ego battle. Why are you? What is a man? What is a man's purpose? What does it matter if you're a woman? What is your purpose?
So that everyone
What
can
is a woman's
understand.
what is a woman's purpose? See, too many Western women, especially our black women, you're out of position.
The Bible says, "Follow me as I follow Christ." So as the woman is, the husband's leading the household, he's leading the woman and the children as he follows Christ.
And that does not change what I said.
That's what I'm saying. We agree.
Well,
We're not arguing.
we agree if she's married. If you're unmarried, you're uncovered. You're not following anybody. You're following yourself. That's what I've been asking. As a single woman, who are you following?
As a single woman,
You're
I'm
following
accountable to
God.
my pastors, and I'm following the
Exactly.
Lord.
You're following your pastor, who is your father. But your father already has a charge. Ma'am, single women, divorced women, let's not play games. You're uncovered. And there's provision there, but there's a time
There's
frame on that.
definitely provision there.
But you're not supposed to live life uncovered as a Christian woman.
I
And there's
agree. Men should have wives. Wives should have husbands.
so if you're not
But
supposed to
such is
live,
life. Shout out to the single parents.
no, shout out to single parents. I don't shout out to single parents. No, especially Christian ones. It's not about
Yeah.
it's not
Well,
about love. It's
it's
not a
sad
it's
when you become a single parent, but you do
no,
what you
it's
got to.
not sad when you become a single. It's sad when you choose to be a single Christian parent and live in contravention to the thing you say you believe. That's when it's sad, because how did that happen? See, here's what I find troubling about this conversation. I don't know how that muted. You're a woman who was raised with a 60, almost 70-year marriage and an almost 50-year marriage and a father who's a pastor. And I'm getting this level of pushback. And you're supposed to be one of the good ones. What about the women who weren't
I hope
raised?
I'm a good one.
Well, I'm gonna be honest, ma'am. There are some things that are extremely troubling about what it is you say you believe, and that's the problem a lot of black men have. This is a woman who says her grandparents were married for 65 years. Her parents were married for 48 years. Her father is her pastor, yet she's divorced and telling women don't feel bad if you don't fall in love or have a man or whatever you want to come out. And all the stuff you're talking about does not line up with what it is you say you believe, yet that's what you say you're putting in ahead of you, trying to help you find a husband. It's going to be on God. And everything I've done is used exactly what you said to show you that you're in contradiction, but you're still going to hold on to it. Because here's the real problem, Tiffany. Too many black women like yourself are just hard headed and can't nobody tell you nothing.
Goodness. I'm pretty okay.
You said your dad, okay.
You and I are probably the same age.
I don't, and what does that have to do with anything?
You don't hear those words hard headed unless it's like a parent
How
talking
old
to
are
a
you?
child. I'm 37.
I'm 51.
You look good.
And even if I was 36, I'm still a man.
Yep.
And if you're a Christian, you know what that means. So I don't understand what me saying something you know is to be. That's why I wanted to have this conversation.
Yeah. I mean, I think we are. I
It was
think we
a good
agree more
conversation
than
because what I
disagree.
think what you're gonna see is they're gonna be. I'm a patient person. I'm a learned person, but I know what I believe and why I believe it. And here's the thing: if it is this difficult for a well-intended black man to even get a woman who says she's well-intended to just agree with me on what it is you say you believe, how the hell are black men and women supposed to figure it out and stay together 48 and 65 years? It ain't
I
gonna
do
happen.
agree with you. I keep telling you we're on
No,
the same
ma'am, you
page here.
don't. We no, we no, ma'am. If this is agreement, I hate to see disagreement. If you think this is on a one accord, I hate to see discord. Just because you're not cursing and calling me out of my names, you're not in
I
agreement.
wouldn't do that.
Exactly, but it does not change the fact that you're still in opposition to what it is you say you believe. And I don't even have to get that's why I didn't get into your personal life and why you're not this. I don't want it. It does not matter. This is a
Yeah.
global issue with black men and black women. There should not be this amount of acrimony, especially with people who raise their hand and volunteered to be Christians. No one forced us to be Christians. No one forced us to live our lives in accordance. That's why I asked you very specific questions. You say your father is your pastor. You are supposed to be agreeing with me. There's not supposed, when I ask you what a woman's purpose is, it shouldn't be all this. It's a man to be a helpmeet. I mean, this is
Yep.
supposed to be real easy for Christian women.
To be a helpmeet, to cover him, I agree.
All right.
I do agree with that.
Well, okay. Well, it's good to say with our mouths, but when we live it with our lives, there's not this amount of acrimony. But I thank you for calling in. I
Yeah,
do.
I
I think
hear
this is a
you.
good call.
Thank you. You have
Thank
a
you very
blessed
much.
evening.
And y'all stop looking at the chat room. They ain't on nobody. They don't know these folks. They there to cause
I
trouble.
think you got some good people in the chat.
Yeah,
They're just straight
but
shooters.
okay, but if they got some good ones, then I mean, I don't allow guys to come over and troll women and stuff. But we're gonna have. I think this is a good conversation because if black men and women don't have these, we ain't. Our marital rates are gonna continue to do what they do, and our families are gonna continue to do what they do, and ain't none of it good. I think we both have to agree on that.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't
Yeah.
have you don't have what your parents and your grandparents had, and we both know that's what folks want.
Yeah.
All right then,
So
talk to you.
did you remarry? Like maybe I should be going on your site to look at your
Yeah, I've been
story.
married. I've married twice. I certainly and if I
Did you
choose to
stay
marry,
with the second relationship or no?
no, she filed for divorce.
Neither did I. I remarried twice.
But here's the thing: I didn't file for either, and both wanted to come back. Both
Yeah.
divorced for worldly reasons, and
Yeah.
I don't begrudge them anything. That's why you never hear me talk ill about them. Even in my marriages,
Exactly.
even as a Christian man, I did not have the level of understanding I have now, and I take on headship as I should. That's why I am never going to be hard on. I'm always going to be hardest on men because of headship. However,
Understood.
I can't tell black men who are willing to lead, to step up and lead, that they should have to argue with, let's move you to the side. Let's move you to the side so it's not personal. With ADOS black women who were raised in a country to look at her men differently than other women. Black men do not get the level of respect.
That they deserve. I
Right.
agree.
Even we're middle class, upper middle class folks, and black women will get mad at black men like me who marry out. But then when you turn around and say, well, where is my counterpart? My counterpart wants to rule Eden. She does not want to be the helpmate. And she wants to argue. My helpmate would rather get the snake and go tell God what's wrong with the text versus just doing what she's supposed to do.
Right.
All right. Thanks.
I agree.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Kevin. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Shout out to Kevin. I love this episode specifically because it does highlight a lot of the inconsistencies in a lot of these modern women, but also shows men exactly where they're needed and where they need to be. To Kevin's point, the reason why he never begrudged any of his exes or ex-wives is because he understands as a leader, it's his job to make it right. You see, when you sit there and take accountability and responsibility, you won't even blame other people anymore for things not going the way it should have went. Why? Because as a man, you are a leader. Being a leader, you have to live and die with the choices you make. If you sit idle and let someone make all the choices for you, you can't sit there and then be upset, because you have to understand it's your job to lead. It's your job to make it right. So when it doesn't work out, blame yourself. That's it. That's the only way to take it. And it puts the ownership back on men. No more excuses. No more pointing the finger. I mean, to be honest, it should be a thing in which we all take responsibility and accountability. But, you know, as men, you just take it on the shoulder and you don't complain about it. You don't get to sit up here, complain, and say, well, this person did this and this person did this and I didn't do this. That's your fault. She broke up with you. That's your fault. You should have had your stuff together. She didn't respect you. That's your fault. You should have been better. We can't keep pointing the finger, especially as men. We can't keep pointing the finger. Headship is important. You are supposed to be a leader. You are supposed to do it. You're supposed to do what you have to do to make sure you get whoever you are with from point A to point Z without a problem. But let's speak on this the Christian feminist. You see, what's so funny to me is they're able to say basically God is their husband. That's almost like how the angle is being pushed. Like if anything is going to happen, it's going to be because God did it or God set it up. But guess what? These choices you make down here are free will. God is just determining what you do with those choices. That's all he's doing. Not he's the one making the choices for you. You see, you are the one that are making the choices. So when she doesn't find a man, of course, it's just easy to say, well, that's not in God's plan. Because you believe that God is making the choices for you. But you're forgetting, most importantly, that you have free will. So stop putting all the blame and the onus on God, when in all reality, it should be on you. Just like how men take the responsibility and accountability. And what's alarming is this woman doesn't even know why she's here as a Christian. And then on top of that, she doesn't even know what a man's role is, let alone hers. She's like, all right, well, you know, I'm a Christian woman, and what am I supposed to do? Just sit there and serve the man? What is the man going to do? So you've been married, your dad's a pastor, and at this point in time, you still don't know why a man's here for? You still don't know what a man is here to do? That's alarming. She needs to do some more research.
Hello.
But
go ahead and unmute yourself. Hello. I can. What do you got for me?
divorced, married. So I've been married for 11 years. I'm 32 now. We got married when I was 19 and a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And he was 24. Um, and it was my call. I'm the one who left him. And I'm just wondering, is that the same for me to get a high value man? Would it be the same? Or
Well,
does that put us on the same boat
well,
as the
in
baby
in
moms?
in general,
Mm-hmm.
no, because men in general separate women who had children as a result of a legal marriage versus
Mm,
women who had children in a non-traditional way, i.e., baby mama, non-state sponsored marriage, spiritual union, whatever. Men are very processed. So if you're saying you had a legal marriage
right.
and you burst a marital certificate, dissolution, then you are in a different category from the
Okay.
start.
Okay.
But
That's
then it does definitely come down to the amount of children, the age of the children, the 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 overall disposition. How do these kids act? Where the
right.
ex-husband is? Because a man is gonna, he may see you and say, "I want to date you." You say you're 32, right?
Right. I am.
So that puts you as a younger, not an old woman, but you're not a young woman. That puts you firmly in, you're a woman. So a guy could say, "Man," and he meets you, but when they get, after they start to get to know you, all that stuff is out there. One, two kids, and an ex-husband. A man has to factor that in. So you mentioned specifically a high value husband. Now that is where it becomes tricky. So I got to
Okay.
ask you.
So basically he had pursued his PhD. He was in school the whole time. He
Okay.
was already pursuing his master's when he was 24. And then he got his postgrad and just kept on climbing the ladder. And I have a bachelor's. So we both were in the education field. Um, and he comes from, pretty
But why? But
decent.
why would you want? But why would you want a high value man?
That is literally, I wanted a high value man when I was younger,
Okay.
got one. And then when I realized that in terms of relationship and compatibility wasn't working or it wasn't healthy for the children, I decided that I wanted two broken happy homes instead of one
Let me
broken.
let me explain something real quick.
Right.
Hold
Hmm.
on. Let me explain something very close. Just because your ex-husband has a PhD does not make him a high value man.
Okay.
I have very specific dimensions. It has nothing. High value man is not men that women tend to run from; they run to.
Okay.
So he may be educated. That's fine, but and being 24, it's hard for a guy to truly be high value in his 20s. There's a certain amount of maturity and gravitas that comes along with it. So maybe he was just educated and had earning potential. But
You mean when I first married him, or are you talking about right now?
well, that's all he had in the 24.
Yeah.
He didn't make
Okay.
it himself. But
Right.
but you asked the question, how does it affect your opportunities with high value men, meaning in the present? Are you
Right.
still trying to get high value men?
Yes.
All right. So let me explain what a high value man is as far as I define it. A high
Okay.
value man is a man who meets a certain income threshold. The baseline is like $10,000 a month in Atlanta dollars and Dallas dollars. You have to adjust for whatever city you're in. He's making
Okay.
that money for at least about 5 years, 3 years where he's scratching the surface. That person also, other high value men look at him as a peer. He has group acceptance. He also has a network of other high value men as contacts and other people because you can't be
Yes.
high value and like a loner. Meaning he also has visibility, meaning people kind of understand who he is, what he does. So you don't have to just say, I'm an entrepreneur. That's vague. And then last, he's useful, utility. He's useful to himself, others, and the group. He's not just a loner hoarding his stuff. So now That's the basic stuff. Now, there may be other things on top of that. There may be morals, principles, values that are different, but that's in general. But I got to ask you, are you talking about marrying a man of a certain income range because you want to have a certain lifestyle?
Yes, I want it to be equal to how I've been living, but I do value a good character and a person with a great foundation,
Okay, that's fine.
primarily.
But
Yeah.
so what do you mean how you currently been living?
In terms of, I want it to be more upper class. Like we've been living pretty well all those years.
Okay.
So
Do you want to have any more children?
I I would say either no, like I would be fine with not having any more children,
Okay.
but or I would have one more and I'd be okay with
So do
that as
you
well.
want to have to work to pay significant bills?
Yeah, I've done both, so I'm comfortable with both as well.
I'm saying, what do you want?
I mean, I'm a businesswoman. Like I launched my own business, but I was
Do you
teaching in the
want to have to
education.
work to pay significant bills? Meaning, do you want the responsibility of paying a significant portion of the mortgage, utilities, retirement, all that stuff?
No,
All right. So you want him to carry the financial load.
right.
All right. So you want to be a 32-year-old divorcee with two
Hmm.
kids, and you want to marry a man that has to carry the bulk of the financial load for you.
That has the ability. Sorry, the ability. No.
The ability.
Yeah, I want him to have. I
Okay,
don't want
ma'am,
to
you
have
can't
to.
pay, ma'am. Let's cut to the chase. You cannot pay the mortgage on freaking ability. He has. You want so you want potential. How do you
Exactly.
eat?
Yes. Yes. That's
Okay,
it.
ma'am. Then how? Okay, so how do you put a potential meal in front of your children? I'm
Yeah,
not trying to be bullshit,
I
man, but I want to
understand
get
what
to
you're
the
saying.
because see what you're giving me is
Yeah.
what you give me is a bunch of stuff that's leading towards spirituality and mysticism, and I'm getting very real. When you put a
It
plate in front
really.
of your listen,
Okay.
you put a plate in front of your kids. Does that has potential mashed potatoes, potential chicken, potential vegetables, or do you want
No.
real chicken?
No.
All right, so you want a man that brings real economic resources to carry the burden of the financial load. That's what you
Hmm.
said.
Yes.
All right. So ask yourself a question. What is he going to get for that? Because you don't even want to have any additional kids. What's he going to get from you and
No,
two kids?
what I said was that I would not be against having one more, but I also wouldn't be against not having, because I have a boy and a girl, 7 and
Okay, man,
10.
but that's you. See, that's
Hmm.
and see what I'm trying to
No, but
get to.
I'm
Listen,
not.
don't overtalk me, ma'am. No.
Okay.
I hear
Okay.
very well.
No, I'm
Do not
obviously
overtalk
not trying to
me.
be rude.
Do
I'm
not
not trying to be
overtalk me.
rude at all.
Do you not hear? Please don't overtalk me.
I apologize, sir.
You have a son and a daughter,
Yes.
but you want a man who has the ability to put you in an upper middle class life to where he can be responsible to pay the bulk of everything. So you are not ultimately responsible for a significant portion of any of it. And what I'm saying is at best, he's going to get possibly one kid out of it, but he has the responsibility for a wife and two children from another man. That's a bad deal.
Mm.
I don't care how nice your kids are, how well mannered they are. He has all the responsibilities of a man with a wife and three kids, and at best he can get one. And you are really hesitant on that one. It's like I'll give him one, but I really rather it not anything. So here's basically what you're saying. I want you to come take care of me and my prince and my prince and my princess, and put us up in a nice middle class, upper middle class lifestyle, and provide for us, and we'll let you provide for us. Huh?
I'm willing to compromise. So what it
Compromise on
comes
what?
down to,
Okay, okay, ma'am.
I'm willing to, if he had, if I don't know if I could speak, but if he was, I'm willing to, like, I'm a communicator, so I would love to. I'm not going to take and take. If we had the conversation where he said, this is what my standards are, I would say, well, these are my standards. And then we would have a middle ground. So me
Okay, but hold
making
on.
money.
Okay, ma'am. That's
Yeah.
not. No. That's not compromise. Okay, compromise is okay. Compromise meaning he wants to go left, you want to go right. You say instead, let's go this way. But see, what's not compromised is who has to pay the financial responsibility.
Right. I guess I'm just used to. I guess I got used to, your my money is your money and your money is your money. Even
Who did?
though I
Okay,
did
who did
spend,
that though,
yeah,
ma'am? Who did
yeah.
that? My money is your money.
Oh, it comes from my ex-husband did that, but it also comes from my religious background, and the men that I do date are only of that religious background, so they also understand that concept.
What? Muslim? Islam?
Yeah.
All right, but okay. Whoa, are you talking about True Islam or Nation of Islam?
No, not Nation of Islam.
All right, then also, then this conversation really shouldn't be that complicated because the women I understand that are Muslim are very much know their roles. So it sounds like you have some Western Islam.
Yeah, so he was American, and I'm
But I'm
East
talking about
African.
you.
So yeah, I'm East African, I'm Canadian
Yeah,
and
of course.
American.
So basically, hey,
Yeah.
coming. So here's what basically you're saying: the
Mhm.
man I married and divorced provided me a certain kind of lifestyle, but he
Right.
got the benefit of my womb, and I produced 2 children for him. I want you to pick up where he left off financially, but I'm not going to give you any of the shit that I gave you. I gave him my youth, my womb, and 2 children.
Mhm.
You get nothing but the extension of the bill.
Wow.
Good luck with that. I don't care how cute you are and how many times you pray. I don't know how many times a day you pray.
No, that's
That's
real
very
talk.
Western. That's very Western.
Right. Wow. Then what
Is
kind of
this your picture?
conversation?
Is
What
this your
kind of
picture?
conversation
Is
should I
that
be
your picture?
having?
Is this your picture on Zoom?
Yes, it is.
How long ago did you take that picture?
About a few months ago. It's on my
2 months ago.
Instagram page.
Okay, so if you look like Gabrielle Sidibe, Precious, would you be asking for what you're asking for?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. So so basically you're mortgaging you're pretty. But see the thing is your pretty is used. No
Right.
offense, ma'am. Your pretty is used. Your pretty has high miles. It's a nice body on the car, but the motor has 300,000 miles and 2 kids. Will your new husband be able to discipline those children like his own?
Wow. Yeah. So I
Oh,
dated a guy, and I already, it's already aligning with what you're saying. He talked a good game, and was speaking as if it was almost like a dream-like world. And I'm a realist, so I'm not against your brutal honesty. I actually love it. I right away understood that this was a dream that he was setting me. This is selling me. This is a marketing. This is not something that is going to be real
yeah, he was
once.
trying to get them skins.
Right. And that is something I don't do until like marriage, which I did with my ex. So it's, yeah,
Oh,
it's
whoa. Are you
totally,
saying hold on? Did you say you won't have sex until you're married?
yeah, I'm basically a celibate after my divorce.
Oh, so even better. Even better. I gotta marry you and pay full freight plus 2 kids. Uh, let me go ahead and give you the preemptive taps. There ain't no, there ain't that much fucking pretty in the world, man.
Right. I'm trying to be moral. I just don't want to have a baby.
No, you're
I
not
don't
trying to
want.
be moral. You're trying to be a man. You're trying to set demands like you are
Oh, no, no.
somebody.
I've been like this my whole life. I
All right,
honestly
ma'am.
don't
Then
want
you
any
should have
slip
stayed
ups.
with. If you're gonna have these high demands, you should have stayed with your husband.
Yeah, no, I wanted peace of mind.
Okay, well then you got peace of mind and you'll die alone by a dog because this is the open market. They don't have to care about your
If
God.
I do get married, I will Zoom you again and
Well,
make
no,
sure that.
no, no, no. You won't get. I would tell you this: you won't get married to a man the caliber you talking about.
Hmm.
I would bet. I would bet a lot on that because the men that you're talking about don't have to take a 32-year-old woman who ain't gonna have sex with them until they until they're legally married and then know that at best they might get 1 kid out of it. Why would I do that? Why would they do that when in your religion they can go get a young woman with no
They do
children?
that in my religion all the
Excuse
time,
me,
though.
why would they do that and they could go get a woman with no children? And they can have multiple children. See, you don't what it is, man, is unfortunately you left your husband, right?
Yes.
Where in Islam are you allowed to leave your husband?
Yeah, we are allowed. There's conditions.
Right, I know. And were those conditions met?
Yes, not in terms of emotions, no.
Well, then so the divorce decree, the dissolution of marriage was for what reason?
I'm sorry, say that again.
The divorce decree was for what reason?
I mean, we did fall in love, so but
No,
it was a
ma'am.
while.
No,
A long.
ma'am. In
We grew
Islam,
up. We grew
okay,
up apart.
okay, but okay for the Muslim. If you're telling me for the Muslim men I know, women in Islamic countries don't file for divorce. That's a
I
Western
actually lived
thing.
overseas in Saudi Arabia for 4 years. I was
Exactly. So
teaching
you
there.
want exactly. So again, what I'm getting at, ma'am, is thank you for see Western women and women in general, but especially in the West, you have the uncanny ability to try to use everything to your advantage. I'm a Muslim when it fits me, but I'm Western when it suits me. See, I can
How so?
file. You file for divorce from your husband, but if you were in Saudi, could you have filed? Could you have left your husband on the grounds you left him here?
Yeah, so that's what my point was. When I was overseas, there were Saudi women that were having a tough time getting out of that because of their culture, not because of the religion. In our religion, yes, you can
Well,
file for
good luck.
divorce.
I put it to you this way, ma'am.
It's a
You
lack
sound like
of
I put it to you this way,
knowledge in
ma'am.
the
You
religion.
sound first off, I'll tell you this, ma'am. Um, you may be a lovely, fun person, but as dominant as you sound like a whole headache. And you may be
I
Muslim.
just think you don't understand the religion, and that's
Well,
what I'm calling you
but
dumb
I
because
do understand.
that's
But I do
probably my
understand.
first flaw.
I do understand a bullheaded woman when I hear one. That's why I've had to mute you. Ain't nothing Islamic sounding about you. You sound just like any old Western feminist to me.
That is 1,000% the truth. This is just one of those golden episodes you find. A woman coming into the fray thinking that the next man is going to wait until marriage in order to sleep with her. But also, she's coming out of that with 2 children. And then I know a lot of people are going to say, well, guess what? She actually did it the correct way. Yeah, she was married, she had children. So effectively, she's just a single mother. She's not a baby mama, right? And that would be true. But it's everything else that then comes with that. She wants a man making a great amount of money a year. Then she wants that man to then wait till marriage. Then she has 2 children already, and she's in her 30s. Now, let's just pose the simple question, right? Why would a man that has to make that much money, wants children, obviously wants to engage in intercourse, why would he wait until marriage and wait until wait until marriage, get with a mom with 2 children, and then she's 30? What's the point of that? Why would he do it? Give him a good enough reason. Because when he weighs out his options, he can either go with that, or he can go with a woman that is much younger, no children, doesn't believe what she believes in, and he'll also have the possibility of having children, not just one but multiple. And when women come to men with these deals, they really believe they're giving them something that they want. But in all reality, you're just banking off of your looks and you're banking off of your quote unquote personality. When those are two things, the looks may be important, but the personality is not really cared for like that. It could be switched out. But also when the circumstances when the bad circumstances seem to outweigh the good in you, men aren't going to do it. They're not going to be attracted to that. So this woman wants to come in, rich man, he has to accept the kids, wait until marriage, and his money is my money. Yeah, it just looks like you're looking for a meal ticket. And no man making that amount of money is going to want to be with that. He could just go with the woman without any of the hassle or any of the major problems, stipulations that's going to come with this woman. So when you come in with a deal, at least make sure the deal sounds intriguing before a man is going to accept that. But please, everyone, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Make sure you guys like and subscribe if you guys haven't already, and turn on post notifications so you will be alerted when we upload more videos just like this one. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.